Hi, I'm Zach Stewart.
Laura Hotchkiss.
And I'm Daniel Kvoras. On this podcast, we improvise in character as hosts of a morning radio show in a fictional country called the Driftwood Isles.
Everything we say is made up, and none of the events, people, or places are real.
It's that simple. Now enjoy this episode of Good Morning Driftwood.
We're back after that breaking news bulletin from our news team there. Sounded pretty intense. Hope everything's okay and the pigeons returned from whence they came. For those of you just joining us, you are listening to Good Morning Driftwood with me, Penelope MacGuffin, and my always wonderful co-hosts, Dirk Wiley.
Heyo.
And Bench PerDiem.
That's me.
Gosh, feeling a little bit befuddled by that breaking news story, but that's not why we're here. We're here to bring a little bit of positivity into your morning. So guess one thing that I didn't want to talk about was the news coming out of West Chesterton. Once again, the people of West Chesterton, obviously small village in the north, say that they experienced a tornado. Now, we have never once had a tornado on Driftwood Isles. There is not once been a recorded tornado here.
The town that cried tornado.
They are different, of course, than the town that cried Cornetto. Cornetto, yeah.
Yes.
I love going there for a Cornetto.
But they keep crying about it. That's the problem.
They keep running out, and then they, we need some more Cornettos. Get some more Cornettos.
Come in quick before we run out of them.
I'm a classic Cornetto person.
Yeah.
We discussed this. I'm very
I don't
classic.
think we've talked about this. You go for a classic.
Classic, yeah. Blue foil, chocolate center.
I like a little mint. I like a little green.
And Dirk, you are the strawberry.
You are the strawberry of the bunch.
I got a little pizzazz.
Yeah. It's difficult because we can never buy a
tart pucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can never buy a pack for the studio.
We can never buy a pack. Yeah, we got to buy 3 separate individual Cornettos.
But then we do like to mix them up and put them in one box, so it feels like we have one box.
It's kind of what this show is. 3 distinct flavors all packed together in one happy box.
Dirk, that's wonderful.
That's lovely. I love that.
So they okay up there with that tornado?
Yeah, the tornado or lack thereof.
I don't want to accuse, but it feels like a real desperate plug to get some sort of tourism money up there.
Okay, can I just I'm so sorry. I know you don't want to accuse, but can we do a Penny's Jacuzzi? This feels like a Penny's Jacuzzi.
Penny's Jacuzzi. I am accusing them.
Okay.
Oh,
it sounds like you are.
I am willing to go French to accuse.
The most serious of accusations are in French.
Yeah. Now,
accusations, duels. The French are very confrontational people.
My middle name's not Gauntlet for no reason. Okay. I accuse the people of the otherwise delightful village of West Chesterton of coming up with another wild story to get the tourism money in. Now, admittedly, I would want to see a tornado.
I mean, of course.
I want to chase it. But I don't think we're going to see any there because there's never been a tornado on the island.
There's never been a tornado on the island. I think they're just
trying to seem more exciting than they are. Yeah. You know how people do that sometimes where they're boring and super basic, and so they try to latch weird random details onto themselves.
Yeah.
And then that's their identity.
Yeah.
I don't think there's not really much going on there. So they're like, we need something exciting. What's exciting and dangerous? Tornadoes. Let's just say that happened and throw a bunch of stuff all over our yards.
Dirk, I didn't want to bring it up, but your outfit today.
Yes.
You've ripped the sleeves off a shirt.
Indeed. It happened, I'll admit, in a fit of rage this morning.
Oh, okay.
Were you holding out?
Oh, yeah. You know how I do in the morning.
A little angry.
I was psyching myself up.
Got you.
But then I stubbed my toe and I got frustrated, and so I ripped my sleeves off.
That makes a lot of sense. I just wondered.
From the hyping myself up.
Yeah. I just wondered if it was, you were trying to put a little bit of personality in, get us all talking.
Well, I come in, in these suits, these tailored suits. But sometimes I feel like maybe you guys think I'm too stodgy.
No.
And so when I ripped them off this morning, I'm like, I feel more gritty. Maybe this is a cool change of pace. I should come in like this. But you guys are saying you don't like it?
You look like you've been through a machine that just rips off sleeves. I just wanted to check that.
That's kind of a compliment then, that it was a nice clean rip.
Yeah.
It is a very clean rip.
Okay. Which that would take some muscle, right? To do it nice and swift.
Muscles like your biceps.
Oh.
Hey, that are now on show for the whole show.
And which is, if they're nice biceps, then presumably that's an enjoyable experience for the two of you to be looking at them, right?
They're very nice. I'm not complaining.
I'm trying to make eye contact. I'm trying to make eye contact.
My eyes are up here, Penelope.
Oh, yeah. I don't want to go back to HR.
That's fair.
Not again.
So that town,
tornado, that tornado.
Yes, the tornado.
Here's the thing. Can I just say?
Yes, go on.
Because we do, of course, have both hurricanes and typhoons on the island, but not tornadoes.
Not tornadoes.
So it is. They are specifically claiming that this is our tornado situation, which is a very inland sort of thing, even though they are a coastal town.
Very coastal.
Yeah, as most towns here are, of course.
I don't understand why they didn't just come up with something a little bit more, believable. Like, they caught a large fish again, Something that's just very coastal. Like, oh, we stayed out on the water too long and then we saw a bunch of weird stuff. Like, I want to see the weird stuff. I want to see my nightmares.
What weird stuff is happening out there?
Like, well, one time they said that they just saw eyes everywhere along the horizon when the darkness fell. Like, I would go see that.
That sounds fantastic.
That sounds crazy.
Sometimes at Terry Woo's festival, I'd see a bunch of eyes. It's more of an internal thing in my own headspace.
Yeah.
Based on, various substances that I've
copious amounts of drugs
prior to the events.
But I think Terry Woo's festivals are always, like, if you're going to experiment with a weird pill your friend gave you.
Yeah, it's not a pill, it's a powder that I create myself. It's a proprietary blend, yeah.
You're making your own now?
Oh, yeah. There's
no way.
Yeah. Well, like there's like Molly, things like that.
Yeah.
I make my own. It's called Jennifer and Patricia. And
Jennifer and Patricia?
Anthea. Yeah. The gals. I bring the gals out for the weekend. And we have a great time at Terry Woo's parties.
I honestly, when you kept saying like me and the girls this weekend, I assumed you'd met someone.
No, it was...
Oh, no.
It was the blend.
It was the blend. Okay.
I didn't want to say, like, I knew exactly what you were talking about.
I met a couple of gals at the event.
Well, but I'm not to toot my own horn. I did recognize those powders immediately. It was very easy to tell, as you guys know. My
Bench, of course, prides himself on his sleuthing ability.
My gentleman sleuthing abilities, which is
primarily powder based.
Mostly recognizing powders on coats, and your even though you don't have sleeves, that coat is absolutely filthy with powders.
Really? I thought
it's microscopic. No one can tell it except my eyes are very keen and focused at spotting out powders.
I usually give it a nice brush prior to
leaving. That takes away most of the powders, but not all of them.
Microscopic powders. Mm-hmm. You impress me every day, Bench.
That was the sound that my wink made.
I think the listeners probably got it.
Yeah. I just want to make it clear to everyone. I just have very loud winks.
Yeah, I think the listeners got it. So listen, Dirk, those powders that you bring in and put in your shakes in the morning, they're just vitamins, right?
Well, some of them are vitamins.
Okay.
And just, some of them is protein. And some of it is powdered peanut butter.
Of course.
And some of it is the gals.
If you were to percentage... Like if
depends on the day. Depends on what kind of day I want to have. Depends on if I'm planning on going to the gym later. Depends on what kind of show we've got lined up. Depends on all sorts of things.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I'm just gonna take a sip if that's okay.
Oh sure.
Yeah. That's
help yourself.
Okay, I think that's like 90% peanut butter.
The peanut butter does mask a lot of the flavors. Can
I try a little bit? Do you mind for all sharing?
What do you think? I mean, I do pride myself on it not just being good for the mind, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
But also a nice flavored experience. I'm not going to eat something that tastes disgusting. It's my breakfast every morning.
I will say it really does. It has the texture of peanut butter, and it's
stays
really
with you.
It's thick.
It hangs
at the back
in
of my
mouth.
Teeth.
Yeah,
indeed.
It's good though.
It's slow.
Yeah.
That's a slow release. That's what I've developed.
It's a real chew to
It's
it.
sort of, it lingers in the back of the throat and the esophagus.
Yes.
For a slow release blend.
And I gotta say, maybe this is a placebo effect, but already I do feel 15% calmer.
There you go.
Is that the gals?
That's Patricia right there.
Oh, Patricia's
And in
maybe
about
my
an
favorite.
hour and a half, Jennifer's coming to the party.
Jennifer?
And Jennifer brings a good time, I'll tell you.
This, listeners, if you
Jennifer's
are just...
got company. She brings all sorts of sights and sounds.
Listeners, if you're just tuning in, this could be a real interesting morning for you.
Yeah, see where we're at in 3 hours when we're still on air. Guys, I just gotta say, I got some feedback from some of our new international listeners who have been tuning into the show, and that we are broadcasting this out on the internet. People are saying our shows are really long. I guess this is not traditional in most news stations that, a normal, typical morning radio broadcast goes for 7 to 8 hours. But I'm like, what's a work day? That's a work day.
We're arguably one of the shorter
Oh, yeah.
shows on the
we
island.
bargained for that in our contract negotiations.
We're what's called short form radio.
Yeah. I mean, we used to be 12 hours, and then it felt like, can you still call it morning when it's 3 p.m.?
Exactly, yeah.
That's what we'd always say.
Wow. Hey, I'm still so happy that we are out there to the world, to all the different countries,
All of them.
All of them.
Such as, for example,
France.
I'm not familiar with, but please.
Spain. Norway.
Right?
Japan.
Okay.
I saw on the graph that there was someone from South
graph?
Africa. Yeah.
What graph was this?
Oh my goodness, have you not
Where are
seen
you
the
getting
analytics?
where are you getting these documents?
Dirk, you gotta read your emails.
Dirk, you don't read your emails?
No, I'm not familiar
With emails?
with it. No.
Dirk, there's a
Technology, communications, I know radio, and I go home, and then I know when I get a knock on my door in the morning, it's time to come here again.
You don't have an alarm clock?
Don't have an alarm clock. The body knows.
Of course the body knows.
The body knows?
Body knows everything.
Is that one of the girls is real good at real morning owl?
One of the girls tells my body what's going on sometimes.
Uh-huh.
The body knows, and then the body hops in on for a ride with the girls.
Got you.
The body is its own entity. But when I want to have a good time with the body, that's where I invite the girls.
The body is its own entity.
Yeah. Do you not believe so?
I absolutely do. I don't think anyone could argue.
Maybe I'm overly spiritual, but I do have... That's what I believe.
Overly spiritual is exactly, and not in a negative way, but that is exactly how I would describe you.
Mm.
Yeah. And
I'm quite buttoned up in some senses, but...
Yeah.
You're kind of like, if I were to describe you, it'd be kind of like a buttoned up, well-tailored suit with its sleeves ripped apart.
Well, then it sounds like I wore exactly the right thing today.
Absolutely the right outfit. And hey, Dirk, I guess we can throw to you for what
sure, yeah. Well, a cave is being excavated deep in Finicky Ridge.
Oh.
Yeah, the mountain range in the middle of the island. And they found a scroll left by what they believe were some of the original settlers of the Driftwood Isles. Now, we know that a contingent of those early settlers ventured west, and they never made it over Finicky Ridge. And it's believed that their descendants are what we now know as the very insular and dangerous hill people, of which very little is known, because they tend to kill anyone who ventures too near their remote territories within the hills, the dead zones. There's no phone reception, no radio waves. And, this cave, they believe it was a refuge at a particular stop on that first journey, attempting to cross the ridge. And the scroll is written in the language of Old Driftwood. And now it's been translated as a recipe for something called horseradish pie.
Oh.
Indeed. But it features some ingredients that are indecipherable. There's also some text on subsequent pages, and very few have knowledge of the old language, but Bench, we know you come from an old Driftwood family and are quite the history buff. Is horseradish pie a traditional old Driftwood dish, and do you have any knowledge of the old Driftwood language? Maybe you could help them with this.
Of course, my family were one of the earliest families to settle over here.
Of course, naming PerDiem Harbor.
PerDiem Harbor, yeah. Again, I'm just going to say it. I am a Nepo baby. I own up to that. That's fine. I don't think there's any point in like walking around that. However, like my family has been here for a very long time. Not very wealthy, weirdly. Just a lot of like name recognition. Not a lot of money. Not a lot of old money.
Maybe they mismanaged that harbor.
I think there was a lot of financial mismanagement. But of course, we've originally immigrated to Driftwood from old Byzantium, or as we like to call it, the Eastern Roman Empire, or just the Roman Empire. Which didn't really fall until 1453. Don't let the haters tell you otherwise. But
We don't want your fan mail.
Yeah.
No, don't get in the comments.
Byzantine fanboys.
Bench, every time you bring this up, there is just a flurry of letters and comments and phone calls every single time you bring this up.
We have a lot of listeners who are
real
Visigoths.
particular about.
They're Visigoths. I'm just going to say they're just Visigoths.
Visigoths.
Yeah, Visigoths, who like to think that they took down the Roman Empire and the
What are
sacking.
Visigoths?
Visigoth were a Germanic tribe that existed in Northern Europe around that time.
They sound like future people.
They're past people. Isn't that interesting?
It
They're
is.
past people.
Imagine you got visited by a future person.
Called the
Wouldn't that be good?
Visigoths.
Yeah.
It sounds cool.
And they were
that's
like,
They're good with branding. I'll give them that.
yeah. Imagine they turned up and they were like, Dirk, only you have the power to fix the world.
I would go with them so
Oh
fast.
my God.
The Visigoths.
Would you tell me if
You're coming
people
with me.
Oh, thank God.
I think if
honestly,
you
You
are
are
as a
wasn't
future
sure.
100% coming with
I
me, Bench,
genuinely
to
wasn't
help the
sure
Visigoths.
if you were gonna. I feel like you were gonna offer for me to go along because I just don't want to feel left out if you're saving.
How
the world.
could I go? How could I do what needs to be done without you? You have the mental and physical strength
Thank you so much.
to do
Like,
what needs to be done.
That's honestly like the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. Like that's real nice.
I would invite you as well, Bench, but it sounds like you're the Visigoths' enemy, and so
Yeah.
I feel like we're kind of on Team Visigoth at this point.
Are you on Team
Awkward.
Visigoths? Because again, that would be, I don't want to say a problem, but blood feuds. It's kind of like a big.
Yeah, obviously, I'd expect blood feuds to get much worse in the future.
Ah,
Yeah,
sounds
like I'm
fun.
not gonna.
Sounds like a romp.
Well, it was really traumatic actually, and a lot of people died.
If
and
I'm gonna go through a portal to the future or to the past, I don't know where they're gonna take me. Like if they've invented portals, who knows which direction we're going?
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna like not go if it's anything less
Is
than a
it even
historic
worth
blood
it
feud.
if there's no blood feud involved?
Let me just say this. This is all fun and games, and we're all having a good time here. But here's why this is not going to happen. And there's a very simple reason.
It's the portals, isn't it?
It's not the portals.
Portal
portal
technology stymieing us yet again.
It's not. I can be in on that. The one thing that I cannot be in on is a future for the Visigoths, because we have put that culture in the ground where it belongs, and that is where it will stay. And I don't need to continue this conversation any further. So let's talk about the cave.
Sorry, the cave. Yep, the cave.
I do want to revisit this Visigoth. I kind of feel some Visigoth sympathy. Personally, I might feel
Dirk, he's looking. He's got the face on again.
it just sounds so cool.
He's got the face.
It sounds so cool.
He's doing-
Visigoth. I feel like they have like cool visors,
Yeah.
some type of like futuristic
Yeah.
visor with like space lights on
like
it.
they're listening to My Chemical Romance, but they've got a real cool hat.
Yeah, like a Daft Punk sort of thing.
Yeah.
Visigoths definitely
Okay.
have Daft Punk helmets.
Yeah, he is not blinking anymore.
All right. I'm
Back
sorry.
to you,
I'm
Bench.
sorry, Bench.
Back to you.
We were talking about your lovely storied history and
something about
knowledge of
the
old Driftwood.
Roman Empire.
The
I think you were
language, the scroll they found, horseradish pie.
Horseradish pie.
Does that invoke? Are you familiar with the dish? Maybe it was at family gatherings growing up. Is this an old Driftwood dish? Horseradish pie?
I remember every year on
Oh, he's got a real 1,000-yard stare.
New Year's Day, my mother would make horseradish pie. And we would all, we'd wake up in the morning from the fresh smell of horseradish pie.
It stings the
we'd
nostrils.
Yeah, painful.
We'd run down. At the time, it was just me and my dog Dolma, who was a little
Your
puppet.
dog
Sorry,
was still
Dolma?
alive. It's
Is
Dolma?
living?
Dolma is incredibly old.
And Dolma's not the current Dolma that we know is not Dolma 2 or 3 at
No,
this
no,
point.
she's the one. She's the
Junior.
one. She's the one Dolma.
My God.
Yeah.
No
There's
wonder.
something
Because
in that.
whenever she looks around, you know she's not seeing
Yeah,
anything.
that makes
there
a
is
lot more
no
sense.
information going in.
She's the smartest dog that I've met in my life, and I love her. And we would.
What are you basing that on, Bench?
Yeah.
Smart?
How many dogs have you really
That
met
dog
when you
is
think about
doing
it?
nothing.
She helped me solve 3 crimes. They weren't big crimes, but they were crimes.
In what way did she help?
Only shoplifting.
She helped you catch
She
a
was
shop.
shoplifting and then she pointed it out. How does this?
No, she found the lipstick in the gentleman's pocket.
Are you sure she wasn't just trying to eat lipstick that she found? Because she tries to eat a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't see
She
how that's
ate
an either or.
She ate the lipstick I had for the awards.
There you go. She has a taste for lipstick.
Yeah.
I don't know that this had anything to do with shoplifting.
I'm just saying-
Maybe she just eat someone lipstick and then you accused that person of shoplifting?
Absolutely
You said,
not.
oh, you must have committed a crime then. And adding insult to this person already getting their lipstick eaten, now suddenly they're being accused of a crime.
I mean, she pooped out a price tag and the guy admitted, he confessed.
Wait, you
Confessed.
waited until she had fully digested,
Oh,
like the whole digestive
goes,
thing.
that goes in and out. Like,
That is a sign of
that.
age. That is
Yeah,
a
she's a
sign
little
of
dog.
age.
There's no way that
okay.
dog is healthy.
she's
That can't
I
be
never
right.
said
That means
she
she's
is.
taking in like no nutrients from the stuff she eats.
Yeah.
She's really not, but she's self-sustaining. She's kind of like a
Self-sustaining?
yeah.
Is she some sort of timeless entity? What is going on with this dog?
All I know-
Impervious to broken glass, impervious to chemicals from pharmaceuticals and
I'm telling
makeup.
you, she has those old Byzantine genes that are sturdy
So
and
it's a
stocky.
Byzantine dog as well.
Oh yeah.
Ah.
She's been not her, not
These
Dolma directly, but
Byzantines
like
sound like it.
Dolma's family has come with us and has been kept in the family generation per generation.
Okay, wow. Sounds like a worthy adversary for
Yeah.
us Visigoths.
Yeah.
You guys are not
For the
I
future.
cannot stress this enough. You guys are not Visigoths.
Well, not of the past.
Not yet.
We're the reboot.
Yeah. You
The
gotta
gritty reboot.
Again,
you
it
gotta
is
wait
it
till
is
the
a
future heroes
it
come
is
and
a-
ask you to join
It is
the
a
fight.
real people and culture that lived in a specific place and time in history.
Which I'm sure we're going to learn about
Yeah.
and figure out and honor. We're probably going to do that.
And like all films, I'm sure they'll tell us that at some point, like we were actually a descendant of someone important.
Right.
Like
yeah.
it'll be one of those situations.
Yeah, like someone will find us, like an old
Yeah.
man, and he'll be like, you have been the ones to take up the mantle
Yeah.
of my glorious storied people,
We have spoken about you for generations and
the
waited.
chosen ones.
Yeah. You don't remember, but your line comes from the bravest warrior we have.
Oh my God, it's so going to happen for us, Penelope.
Cannot wait till that
I
day.
believe this for us.
I knew we were destined
We
for
deserve
something.
this.
This is going to be the coolest thing in the world.
We deserve this.
We deserve this.
Down with Byzantium?
Is that who we're fighting?
Is that who we're fighting? Bench? Hey, Bench.
Bench, are you still here?
Bench, is it Byzantium that we don't like?
Bench, you're not blinking.
Who don't we like? Bench?
Okay, thank you for coming back. We just had to take a quick break and sort of talk out some of this stuff, and now we can keep going.
Yeah, and I think
Should we keep going?
I
program?
just want to say that I respect Byzantine culture. I have a healthy respect for Byzantium. I do really feel some type of allegiance to the Visigoths. I don't know where that is misplaced now.
And we're back for a second time. Okay, now human resources have spoken to us, and we are no longer continuing the conversation that we were having before, and we are no longer allowed to reference it through name, situation, or otherwise. But let me just one last thing on the subject. Just one last thing. I would think that the Byzantium people are at any point.
So caves.
They found a scroll. They found a scroll in the caves, and
Cool. Anything else
fine.
about that?
no, I think it's fine.
Okay, should we move on?
Yeah, let's move on. Let's move
Okay.
on.
So, guys.
Yep.
You know what time it is?
What time is it, Bench?
No way.
It's Bean Watch.
Bean Watch.
Guys, I beefed it.
Oh no.
I beefed it.
Bench.
Bench, what
It's a
happened?
bench beef.
Okay, I feel really bad. I gotta come clean. I really biffed this one, guys.
Oh,
I as our listeners all know, every week on Bean Watch, I bring you guys some of the beans that I grow in my garden at home and that I cook, and we have a little taste test live on the
it's
air.
One of my favorite parts of the week.
yeah.
One of the most popular segments that we have on the show.
Always very fresh and new, and we learn new things about beans every week, and there's
Right.
never a lack of information.
No, I look forward to this every week. I woke up this morning like 15 minutes before my alarm went off because it was Bean Watch Day.
It is Bean Watch Day, but I lost the beans.
You lost the beans?
I lost the
Bench,
beans.
where are the beans?
I don't know.
What do you mean you lost the beans,
I lost
Bench?
the beans.
Bench.
Huh?
We need beans. I explicitly made today's blend knowing I would have beans later.
Yeah.
The digestive rate is going to be all wrong.
I lost them.
How do you mean you lost? Talk us through how this morning started.
Okay. I woke.
Also, you're just withering before our eyes, Bench. This is really affecting you. You are a crumbling man. What is happening here,
I
Bench?
can't. I lost. Okay.
Ben, do you need something? Do you need anything?
Okay. No,
we can, do we need to bring in Doma for like spiritual support?
That's fine. She's in the.
Well,
I
she's in the
really
dog.
prefer not to.
We don't
There's
wanna
a
bring in
smell,
Doma.
That's fine.
and she's just unsettling.
Okay. I just, this whole today's been. I feel like we've been off to a rough start this morning. Already been like pretty confrontational. But listen, this is really. I really need you guys' support for this because this is
You
really rough.
Have
Always
our
Bench.
untold support here.
Thank you. So I woke up this morning, as I always do, at 2 a.m., to get ready before we start the broadcast. And I went to my garden to pick up the beans. And the beans were gone.
Bench, no.
Now,
I can't even.
I don't...
I don't want to know.
Bench.
Someone stole the beans.
All of the beans?
How can someone just steal beans?
Don't people have any decency? If you have no respect for beans, what do you respect in the world?
I mean, that's... I don't know who would do this. It's a real hard time, and honestly, I didn't want to tell you guys earlier because I feel a lot of shame around this.
I felt something was off with you. You had an energy today.
Yeah.
You did come in and immediately do the same sort of pose that dogs do when they know they're in trouble. Like
Yeah,
you
they're
did,
like looking off, sort of.
yeah, like you bowed in a very submissive way to us.
My ears
Very
have been
rigid posture, like staring sort of off at like a 30-degree angle from you.
Yeah.
My ears have been incredibly droopy.
Several times today you have said to Dirk, you are the alpha.
Which I thought that just meant...
just a beautiful
I thought that was
compliment.
just a reference to my, not having sleeves. I thought that was sort of like, you're looking good, buddy.
I get it because the biceps are distracting.
Again,
Yeah.
much appreciated. These compliments.
You have wonderful biceps, but regardless, I'm really distraught. I feel like I've let down you two as my friends, and I've let down the station. I let down, most importantly, our listeners, who I know were really excited for a lot of eating on air and on mic, a lot of wet mouth sounds.
Every single week since our show started, we've had Bean Watch.
We've
Every
had-
It's a
single week.
staple.
And it's always like a bean stew, and it's hot and it's liquid and it's thick.
Some people say that it's too early in the morning to eat a bean stew.
Beans, and I always say beans are a breakfast food.
Yeah.
Initially, it was difficult to get
Painful
it down,
sometimes, yeah.
but through sheer willpower and repetition,
The body,
we've now conditioned ourselves.
yeah, the body learns to cope, doesn't
The
it?
body learns to cope.
It's a lot of fiber.
Yeah. But listen, I just want to say, if anyone knows, God, I don't.
That's true. I do have to say, I mean, you're the sleuth of the bunch, Bench.
I
I
am.
think you might be able to find the perpetrator here.
If anyone was
I'm
going
on
to
the
find
case. I'm on the case, but I just need to put out this call to the public, if I may.
Speak to the people, Bench.
This is really. So, And we can like sort of like clip this if we need to. Also put it on this Matthias if you need to. Yeah. So let's just get this bit clean. So as you might know, my special beans were stolen from my garden, and the thief still not has been caught. And I just want to say this is a warning for people to know that these beans are special and dangerous. And the thief is meddling with forces they do not understand, and they might suffer unfathomable consequences if they are not careful.
My God.
Unfathomable?
Unfathomable.
Bench, is there more significance to these beans than we have previously been led to believe? Are they more than just delicious little balls? How would you describe the shape of a bean?
Oblong balls?
Oblong, little sort
like,
of.
Yeah, like
two ends.
Like one of those American footballs, but like less pointy.
Kind of like instead of the middle bit being big, it's like both ends and then it dips.
Yeah, so maybe not an American football.
Little pebbles, little tasty pebbles.
Yeah, little fun little
legumes.
No, that's not a shape.
That doesn't immediately.
But I say legume and you have a shape in your head, don't you?
No.
Only in reference to beans, but we're trying to think of more of a generic.
Yeah. We want the listeners to understand.
Is football more generic than beans?
Well, listen, every single time we've done this, obviously our listeners can't see, and we are just trying to paint a full picture for the listeners here.
Tasty pebbles. Are they more than just these tasty pebbles?
Yes.
That we've been enjoying each week.
Yes, they are.
I'm so sorry. I'm just so upset.
Penelope's very emotional.
I'm just so upset about this.
Very affected by this.
Yeah. I get it.
But Bench, what are these?
Why would they do the tasty pebbles?
Don't you take Penelope's tasty pebbles from her.
Oh my God, my mascara's everywhere.
But Bench, what are these?
Sorry, your mascara is dripping.
How? I don't understand how there's that much mascara on your face.
You know, it's a morning show. I've got to really put it on layer upon layer to really get the pop.
It's the wettest mascara I've seen in my life.
It's forming little rivulets on the table.
It's okay.
Black rivulets.
I have an oil-based cleanser. I'll get it right out of the table.
Anyway, so yeah, the beans are again passed down, much like most of the stuff that I have in my life. They're passed down generation from generation by my family.
You really do. I wanted to mention that shirt.
Yeah. The shirt?
The shirt you're wearing. Yeah,
it's a classic.
What's it made of?
Yeah.
What's that material?
Hemp.
Because there's patches over.
Yeah.
Patches over bits that have clearly worn out over the generations.
Yeah, it's vintage.
What do you call that color?
I would call it I guess it's like somewhere between mustard and beige.
Between mustard and beige.
Yeah, like tartar.
Tartar?
Tartar.
Like the sauce?
Yeah. I'd call it tartar. I think this is tartar colored.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's mostly white, but with like
fashionable
some specks.
Sounding.
It's very it's caper coated.
God, I feel like I'm on a real downer now after that news.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to, but
capers. Also tasty pebbles. What are some of these consequences, Bench, that we might befall from having?
I'm worried about this.
I'm very concerned.
Like
here.
there is a history of gentlemen detectives having like the case they couldn't crack and then eventually going crazy and then being the murderer themselves. It's a pretty rich literary tome.
This is clear. This is absolutely not going to be. I have had a rich career as an amateur gentleman sleuth. I've solved many a murder. Every single one of them. This is not going to be the one that is personal to me and I haven't solved and is going to haunt me forever. And this is not going to be that one. I will solve this one.
Definitely. It's definitely not going to happen.
No. Also, there's not been a murder involved in this. As far as I know, just
don't you only solve murders?
I do only solve murders. I have.
So is this maybe out with your wheelhouse?
Yeah, I really feel out of my depth. I solved the one shoplifting thing with Doma, but
I'm still doubtful that person did anything wrong whatsoever.
Were they jailed for that?
No, they got out because the system is corrupt.
Okay, no, thank goodness, because I didn't want to hear of them doing any time behind bars.
The system is corrupt, not because they were just accosted by a man and his dog.
No, they were guilty. Once again, they confessed.
Okay. Yeah.
They confessed.
In what form did that confession take?
Verbal.
Yeah.
A verbal confession.
Under what context? In what situation was this delivered
they,
to you?
I presented them. I can tell.
Did you say verbal and then handwritten?
Yeah, they also wrote down their confession. I can tell you exactly how that happened because I presented them with the indisputable evidence of their crime, and then they went on this like really long monologue explaining why they did it and their motives and sort of how this crime is going to end. Well, that's just how it tends to happen when I solve.
You're like, hey, you did it, and then they're like, you're right. That's why I did everything.
I feel like people at that point, again, mostly murderers at that point, they're like, well, I'm already caught on I might as well kind of tell you my...
Why let this person, present any evidence to put them away? Even if the evidence is extremely flimsy, they're just going to come right out.
This happens after
say,
I present the evidence.
I did it. In a court of law, or you just said a bunch of stuff?
No, it's usually in a room with a lot of people who have been anxiously waiting to hear what has happened for a while and have been kind of suspected of the crime at some point. All of them have motives.
I feel like that they could just deny it.
I feel like they could as well. They
just
don't.
Saying a bunch of circumstantial stuff.
It's not circumstantial. It's very factual. It's fact-based.
It's like, you think they did it because this demographic of person tends to do this.
Okay,
this,
that is
and that, and you're an army veteran, so you know how to tie this knot. It's like, okay, maybe someone else just learned how to tie that knot. That's totally a thing that could happen. That's not evidence.
That is, again, you were talking about kind of like in a wide, sort of like a very wide investigation. We were just talking about eliminating out of 7 to 8 suspects. Who amongst them knows how to tie that knot? And there's usually only the one person.
I don't
know how you verify that information of who knows how to tie what sort of knot.
Oh, that's actually really easy. You just ask them to do your tie's untied. Can you just like help me with this? And then you see how they do it.
Most people can tie a tie. No one's gonna what kind of knot are they doing on the tie?
That's exactly the question.
Okay, I just you got to stop being in enclosed spaces with a murder happening.
You're telling me.
I don't. Oh God! It just every time it's like, what? How again?
Bench is there.
Yeah.
You're often cited in news reports as a witness.
Yeah.
You pop out. You Google your name on Crime Watch. And
was that one
you pop up everywhere as a witness.
I think if you Google my name these days, there's that one New Yorker article that was
where?
On. The New Yorker, they came to visit their magazine. Yeah.
Visit?
A man from New York came.
Yeah. A man from New Yorker.
To the Isles?
Yeah.
Wow.
No one said.
Usually they announce when there's a visitor from abroad.
Yeah, they get the horn.
Yeah.
The town crier comes out with the big horn.
Well, we wanted to keep it on the DL because, they were going to publish it. They didn't want to sort of like, for lack of a better term, blow their wad early.
There's better terms.
I don't think there's any other term.
It's the morning. People are having breakfast.
There are so many better
Well, not
terms
us because we don't have beans. And
Please
I'm so
stop
sorry.
reminding me.
Hopefully by next week, maybe we'll know something more.
Are you gonna take the case up?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's our producer signaling to us that we better throw it back to the news team. Seems like there's more breaking news coming in. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Good Morning Driftwood.
Good Morning Driftwood is executive produced and hosted by Zach Stewart, Laura Hotchkiss, and Daniel Kvoras. Engineered and produced by Zach Stewart. Music by Daniel Kvoras.